Has the world turned its back on Sudan? The Sudan conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and its former ally, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, erupted on the 15th of April last year. According to a recent Human Rights Watch report, tens of thousands of people have been killed, including up to 15,000 people in the West Darfur town of Geneina. In addition to this, about 8.5 million people have been uprooted from their homes. But in the backdrop of the humanitarian crises in Ukraine and Gaza, the 13-month-long civil war in Sudan has drawn less international scrutiny and has been dubbed as the Forgotten War. And all eyes are now on Fasher, the state capital of North Darfur. The United States has warned of a disaster of epic proportions in Fasher if the RSF proceeds with an expected attack. Our next report gets you more details.
Africa's third largest country by size, the Republic of Sudan, has been ravaged by war for more than a year, with no signs of abating. It is now feared that a new front has opened up around the town of Fasher in North Darfur, where, compounding the matters, the population is already on the brink of starvation. Fasher is the only capital of the 5 Darfur states not controlled by the RSF. Home to 800,000 civilians, the town was, until recently, relatively unaffected by the fighting, but since mid-April, bombardments and clashes have been reported in the surrounding villages.
The latest reports of escalating hostilities in Fasher, the capital of North Darfur, are a fresh cause for deep alarm. Over the weekend, RSF-affiliated militias attacked and burned villages west of the city, leading to widespread new displacement and fears of a takeover of Fasher, that is the capital of North Darfur, and a city with hundreds of thousands of inhabitants. Fighting continued today on the outskirts of Fasher. Counterattacks have led to more deaths and injuries. And let me be clear, any attack on Fasher would be devastating for civilians and could lead to a full-blown intercommunal conflict across Darfur. It would also upend aid operations in an area already on the brink of famine, since Fasher has always been a critical UN humanitarian hub.
The region was ravaged more than 2 decades ago by the scorched earth policy of then-President Omar al-Bashir, which was carried out by the Janjaweed, the Arab militiamen who have since then joined the RSF. According to the United Nations, the 13-month-long civil war in Sudan risks triggering the world's largest hunger crisis. About 25 million people, approximately half of the country's population, are in need of all types of humanitarian assistance, whereas more than 18 million people are grappling with food insecurity in the agriculturally rich nation. Hunger, not just fighting, is rampant across Sudan now, driving displacement. Increasingly desperate people are leaving their homes in search of food, with some even resorting to eating leaves.
The children were collecting tree leaves and eating them. They took mango leaves and ate them. My cousins walked next to the school and collected the tree leaves, cooked them and ate them, because we didn't know if we would have food for breakfast.
Fasher is on the precipice of a large-scale massacre. It is the grim reality hundreds of thousands in Fasher are bracing themselves for. In a country which has experienced only brief democratic interludes, this latest conflict between the warring generals has spawned a humanitarian crisis. Will the world pay attention to their urgent needs?